Hey everyone, Oz here. Today, I want to talk about something that I believe has been plaguing millions of people and causing them not to succeed at the level that they want to succeed. Due to the nature of my business, I get in contact with thousands of people every single month. Either they, join my blueprint, or they make a comment here on YouTube, or they reach out to our support team, or they schedule a call with me. And when you go through that many interactions with that many people, you certainly see certain patterns as to the thought process of most people that is not allowing them somehow to get to the next level. And that's the concept of being confused. I know it might sound simple. Yeah, most people do not even accept that they're confused, but people go through life being totally confused on where they need to focus their energy, their attention, right? So I talk to a lot of people, and their current situation, most of the time, the current situation they're in is they're probably at a dead end job, or they've been recently fired from a job. Maybe they're putting in 10, 12, 14 hours a day. Some of them making great money, some making they're not making that good of a money, but they're just not happy with what they're doing day in and day out. Yet they have to do that, right? In order to run a family, in order to make a living, in order to cover your expenses, you got to do something. You got to be involved in some kind of action for you to generate some kind of reaction, which is an income at the end. So a lot of these people that I talked are very miserable. So they currently definitely understand what is making them unhappy. What's making them unhappy right now is making $300 a week, making $500 a week. What's making them unhappy is to live in a neighborhood that they really do not like, but they can't really move out because they don't have enough money. What's making them unhappy is they're working 14 hours a day, but their back is killing them because they just turned 55 and they said, screw this, I had enough of this, I'm getting older, and I'm not going to be in a position to put in this many hours 5 years from now. So how do you plan ahead? What's frustrating them is maybe they own a business and they thought it was going to be the next great thing, and it hasn't been working that well, or it's just consuming too much time and too much energy. So when you ask them what's going on, and if you have spoken to me personally before, you know that that's one of the first questions that I ask, like, why are you interested in starting your own business? Why are you interested in getting into this business? Then people take about a minute to 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And if you're watching this, just think about that question. So obviously, if you're watching, you're interested in starting a business. Maybe you are in the alternative lending industry. Maybe you're a part of my community already. But there's a reason why you pull the trigger to start a business. And a lot of people they don't have confusion about that. The reason is X, number one, I want to quit my job in a short amount of time, or I want to bring my wife and my husband, my partner home, or I want to spend more time with my kids and my family, or I just want to make simply more money, enjoy life. I want to buy the next brand new sports car and things like that, and I want to buy expensive cigars, and I want to travel. Whatever your reasoning is, some more emotional, some more financial, but at the end of the day, the common theme is you just want to improve your life. You want progress, right? That's what makes us happy. As long as you're progressing towards a better option for your life, that's where the happiness comes into play. But in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that most people are very confused. And the confusion comes from it doesn't come from understanding where you are. It comes from what is required to change that, right? Because we, as human beings, we're creatures of habits. And so if you've been doing something for a certain amount of time, it becomes a part of who you are. So if you're putting in 12 hours a day for the past 2, 3, 5 years, although it's not really making you happy, well, you know that you're 100% clear you need to make that change, but you're very confused on how that will play out. That's why you go online and search for things such as how to start a business or a business to start, how to get rich, how to make more money, how to build a business from scratch, how do you get your first client, and things like that, because you're just looking for a way out, right? Which is also very normal. But then the abnormal thing comes through when you have your options. Now you know that you got to do something, right? People then act unpredictable at that point. Like they definitely want to change their current situation, but they're very confused on how to go about it, because that requires breaking the habits that they have, right? If someone is putting in 12 hours, By the time they come back home, they're very tired. Maybe their wife and their kids want to spend time with them and they're just not in the mood for that. And they see that every single day, time flies, right? If you keep doing that, another 5 years will go and you're going to be bitching and whining and things like that, but still things will not change by itself. So where the confusion comes from is you're very confused on how to change this process. You're looking for a roadmap, a blueprint to kind of simplify that process for you. But even if it's presented to you, then still people still shy away from actually taking that action because they're really not clear on what they want to accomplish with that. So my second question usually is, if you start a business like this and if you become successful, what does success mean for you? How do you define it? Where do you want to get to? Then you hear rambling answers like, I don't know, I want to make anywhere from 5,000 to 30,000. Well, that's a massive gap, right? I want to quit my job. All right, so how soon do you want to quit your job? Well, I would just quit my job tomorrow. Well, that's not reasonable. So let's realistically talk about like how soon you want to quit your job or what you want to accomplish with this. Well, I want to make 10,000. Why 10,000? Why is it not 12,000, 15,000, 30,000? What do you want to do in 3 to 5 years from now when you build your business? You might seem like, well, these are like far-stretched questions. I just want to get out of my current situation. See, that's the problem. You're so motivated to get out of your current situation, you would do pretty much anything to fire that boss, quit that job, and come back home, and which is very short-term, thinking. So you want to do things right now that will change it. And the things that you want to do, that you're looking for immediate gratification. That's when I have questions like that. All right, so if I start this business, am I going to be able to make $10,000 in 10 days, 20 days, 30 days? Well, it's very possible, and I have many people doing that, but are you thinking with your emotions or are you thinking with your logic at that point, right? Because think about this. So if you have an opportunity that's going to make 15, 20, 25 grand, whether it's in the next 20, 30 days or in the 6 months, isn't that better than the option that you have right now? So if you've been in the workforce for the past 20 years and what that brought you is the level that you are right now, which you're telling me that you're perfectly not okay with, you're not happy with, and another option appears, which is business ownership, right? Best way to quadruple 10x your income is to own a business. You're not going to have a job to do that. If you're making 30 grand right now, it'll be very, very difficult for you to get to $300,000 level, $400,000 level without being a business owner, without helping other people solve a problem, right? So the concept of changing your current situation, the urgency, creating confusion on the actual plan and what you're trying to accomplish. That's why when someone tells me, listen, when I join your program, I'm just going to quit my job. I tell them, no, you're not going to do that. You don't want to create additional stress in your life right now. Trust me, if you've been doing that job for the past 3 years, hating it, you can still survive for another 2-3 months. I know you want to get out of it, but you can't do that without a plan. That's what's confusing people. So if you're doing this, if you're starting another venture, you got to be, okay, you got to calm down. You got to cool and say, all right, so this is the right opportunity for me. I want to do this. I want to treat this like think about your first time when you're starting a job when you didn't have the skills that much. It took time for you to build those skills, right? This is the same thing. And this is a really fast track business to thousands of dollars per month, even tens of thousands of dollars per month. And we now even have players who are doing 7 figures a year building their businesses. We have many six-figure players it took them a mere couple of months to build that. So I want you to put things in that perspective and have that clarity that, all right, so you know where you are right now, which is making you very unhappy. You want to get to a certain place, which you know is not going to make you happy, but there has to be some level of transition, right? Through that transition, you got to define it. You got to define what that means, what you're going to do through that process. Are you going to follow a plan, step-by-step plan? And at the end, that plan is going to yield X number of results, X amount of results, and that's going to provide you that transition from where you are right now to where you want to be. There is no overnight millionaires, right? Overnight millionaireship takes probably 4, 5, 6 years of hard work. The first, when we reach $1 million as a company, that took 4 years of hard work, us grinding and working day and night and building things. And when first news article was published about our success, they're like, oh, this company went from this to this in 18 months. Yeah, it's true, but there was a massive buildup of experience and skills. Now we're taking that experience and packaging it and giving the shortcut to people where they can take that same information and build a business in a matter of a couple of months, but they're still confused about why it's taking that long, right? So that's not reasonable to think that way. That's what I'm trying to say. So the confusion comes from that. So you're where you are right now. You know your final destination. If you don't, that means you don't know what to do, right? So you got to define that final destination. Just wanting to quit your job or change your location is not a destination. It's a complaint. You're just stating what you're not happy about. And if you don't know what you're complaining about, ask the people around you, your friends and your family. You're probably complaining about things quite often to them because that's how we usually do. We don't really voice what makes us happy that much, but we tend to, if we get really angry, we tend to either take it up on other people or share that anger with them or frustration, that stress and anxiety with them, right? So if you can't think of what you've been talking to about other people, so just you know, they're going to remind you what you're talking about. And the things that you tell other people is usually indication of what the real cause of the problems are. If you're complaining that you're working too hard, well, that's an indication that either you don't have the marketable skills that's going to pay you a higher hourly rate, so you don't have to put in that many hours, or you're in the wrong line of work, or you have to gain new skills, or you got to get out of that place. But for you to get out of that place, you need to have a transitional period. And starting a business is that period. That's why I don't recommend anyone to burn their ships and quit their job and start something 100%. I know a lot of the gurus talk about that, but they forget that most people do not operate that way. Starting a business might be uncomfortable already, then you're adding additional events that would cause more stress, such as quitting your job or just dropping everything and doing this 100%. People freeze. When people are afraid, they stop doing things. They freak out. Then they don't plan things logically. So that's what I try to teach to all of my members in my community and my viewers like yourself, that first you got to decide, do you want to be in a business for yourself? Second, understand what kind of problem you're solving. Like the best business is the one that solves the biggest problem. What is the biggest problem small businesses have right now? And how big is a small business community, right? So I know I'm asking back-to-back questions, but they're related to each other. So 75% of the US economy is made up of small businesses. What is the biggest problem that they have? Well, their problem is twofold. One, they want more customers. Two, they want more money, right? So they want more customers part is handled by marketing companies. But in order to do marketing, a lot of times you need money, especially as a small business if you don't have those skills built in as a marketing person. Number two is you need more money. You always need more money. Why? Well, you need to buy new equipment, new truck, new fridge. You want to hire more employees. You want to invest into marketing. You want to invest in other areas. You want to buy more inventory at a discounted price if you buy it in bulk and things like that. So your biggest problem is access to capital. But right now, with the system that we have, it's very difficult to do that. And anyone solving that problem for a business makes a lot of money. So that's a logic flow, right? All right, so I'm not happy where I am right now. Well, I want to make more money because you're thinking of the survival instinct, right? So I need to survive. I need to buy more, vegetables and fruits and do my shopping and invest in things like that. Then you're looking for a vehicle, but that vehicle has to serve a bigger purpose than your daily needs, meaning that you have to solve a problem for someone bigger than the amount they pay you. That's why in an industry that we're in right now, alternative lending, the average deal makes you $2,000 to all the way up to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 because you're solving a much bigger problem than what you're getting paid. That's why it's best to be in an industry that allows you to help others in a massive way based on an existing demand, right? So you got to stay away from businesses that you're not sure if there is demand for it or not, and you're trying to create demand. Don't forget that in marketing, you don't create demand, you channel demand. You got to look for an area where there's already massive demand, like business lending right now. businesses are looking for more and more and more money every single day, and they have difficulty getting that. So how urgent do you think that need is? Well, if you have small businesses around you, if you maybe you own one yourself, and you know, I'm sure you know people around in your circle of influence who own businesses, ask them about the money problem, ask them about getting funding and things like that, and they'll tell you how difficult it is. And you being a consultant to solve that problem will impact that you have a positive upside, as high as possible in the shortest amount of time to build a business based on those principles and succeed. So I hope this video kind of puts things in perspective for you a little bit, for you to think about this. It's very difficult to move emotion out of the way since we're emotional creatures. But if you're making a decision on changing your current situation, I just wanted to make sure that you understand what it takes to change it. It takes serious effort. It takes commitment. You can't be complaining about your situation tonight and try to go back to the same job tomorrow and come back, complain again, and do it again tomorrow. That whole cycle goes on and on and on and on for the next 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. And before you know, you've been doing this unhappily without much of a progress for many, many years. At some point, you got to hit the brakes and say, you know what? Enough is enough. I know I'm not happy right now. This is very clear for most of those people. And the next step is I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make a shift. When am I going to make a shift? Well, I'm going to make time for it. Because the next question I ask most people is, all right, so we're going to show you how to build a business, but how much time can you spend to build this business, right? There's no such thing as starting a business and not putting in the time, putting things in 100% autopilot and getting rich. It just doesn't exist, right? What we're showing is you can get it done in 2 to 3 hours a day and start building and start getting your first couple of deals. But that you gotta put in that much time. Like if I hear someone saying, I work many hours and I don't know, I can probably look into this once a week. Well, that means you're not serious about changing your current situation, right? There are people who work 20 plus hours in different parts of the country. If you look at all the geniuses like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk is a billionaire right now and he's sleeping on the couch. I'm not saying you go that extreme, but that just shows the commitment to the change. If you look at your kids and your family and you know that you can do something better for them, and then you still keep going back and doing the same thing over and over again, what you need to do is not search for a business idea. You need to kind of check your commitment level. Like, do you really want to change this, or is it just easier to complain and not do anything? So I wanted to do a reality check because I'm not the type of person who hype things up and try to pump people up and have them do something that they might not want to do it, but it really doesn't work long term. You can't make sustainable change based on motivation only, right? You got to have the drive, you got to have the reason to do that. At some point, like, draw a line on the sand and say, enough is enough. I need to make this change for myself. Because guys, like, a couple of months in the realm of our lives is not much. Like, if you can change your situation from making $5,000 to $25,000 in the next, let's say, 6 months, that's nothing. That's just mind-boggling to be reaching that level in that short amount of time and staying there. Because at that level, like in the US, regardless of where you live, like, think of the most expensive place. If you're making 25, 30 grand a month, you can live in any other country as a king or queen, right? That income is enough for you to pretty much move to any place you want. Also live very comfortably in the United States, like any state that you want. So let's put it that way. No, not everyone needs to be a millionaire. You don't need to have $10 million in your bank account. You don't need private planes or anything like that. All you need to do is jump from making whatever you're making right now, $1,500, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, to $15,000 to $20,000. And if that's taking anywhere from 2 months to 6 months, who cares? That's life changing. Once you get to that level, now you have a plan. Then when you get there, then you can decide if you want to build an organization, if you want to make 50 grand, if you want to make 100,000, or if you want to be a millionaire, right? But it has to be broken down into smaller steps. So I will leave you with that. I hope this was clear on why confusion is killing people and is killing their dreams, and why it's important to seek clarity, that what is it that you want to accomplish, and based on that, follow a proven plan So let me know below if this was helpful, if you have any questions or any comments. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe below, and just watch the other videos that we have in this channel. We have a lot of videos specific to the industry that we're in, but I just wanted to kind of help people who are a little on the fence about how they need to change their current situation. All right? Hope this helps. Take care now. Bye-bye.